Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my reaction videos. So, today I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of Death Battle which just came out, which is Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. So, if you've seen my prediction for this video, then you'll know that I'm not really the biggest fan of this fight in general. To me, it just seems very unnecessary. It doesn't seem very different from Batman versus Spider-Man. I know that there are some differences, but in the grand scheme of things, there's really nothing that different about these characters that really, changes the outcome of the fight in any, conceivable or significant way or anything like that. In case you guys haven't figured it out by now, I do think Spider-Gwen is going to win. Right now, I have no reason to believe that she won't win, unless they find something really amazing for Batgirl, or they find something that really limits Spider-Gwen. I really don't see Gwen losing this one. She just scales to much more powerful characters. She might not scale directly to Spider-Man, but she's definitely comparable to him enough that Batgirl really just doesn't have what it takes to put her down. Batgirl, I would say, is smarter. I think she's overall the better fighter, but when you have stuff like the spider sense and, just the physical superiority to this degree that Gwen has, it really just doesn't matter in the long run. At least to me, it doesn't. I really don't have that much to say about this fight. I'm sure it'll still be entertaining, and I've heard the animation, is really good to look at because it's, it's 3D, the same people that did Ganondorf versus Dracula and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi, so I'm really excited to see what the animation looks like, but, other than that, I don't know, I'm just not too excited for it, honestly, but, it's still a death battle, so hopefully it will still be fun to watch. I'm sure it will be, and these are still characters I know and quite like. I'm not huge fans of either of them, but, yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get on with it.
The world? The ladies? So obviously there's a bunch of awesome crime-fighting chicks out there.
Like of course.
Barbara Gordon, DC Comics vigilante,
but we just didn't need this one. We didn't need this fight.
And Marvel's Gwen Stacy, the one you know as Spider-Gwen.
Yes. Earth 65.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Still don't like how they do that. It's just so weird.
Barbara Gordon always had a connection to crime fighting. Her father was Gotham City's police commissioner, and she idolized the legendary superhero, Batman. So she whipped up her own bat costume to crash a police ball. Yeah. She's a rebel, but plot twist, a criminal crashed it first.
Killer Moth.
Saving the day. This sparked a fire
in my opinion, a very forgettable Batman villain, but still prominent nonetheless.
On her own. With this new mission came another goal, to officially join Batman and Robin as the next badass crime fighter, Batgirl.
Yep, pretty much sums it up.
How come she's called
Oracle,
Batgirl
yes, and other aliases.
Robin? Her identity and individuality shouldn't be anchored to the patriarchal idea that women are publicly defined by the men in their life.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
Joining the Bat
it is kind of weird. She doesn't get her own name.
Weren't exactly keen on adding a third wheel. But Batgirl worked hard to prove herself, and she's not just a tough fighter.
Oh wow, that's pretty strong.
With a strong understanding of technology.
Actually surprised she did that.
Batgirl knew she could prove useful to a team that relies on tech.
Of course.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
The Bat and the Bird say no. And after settling into the Batcave, she honed her skills by training with the Batman himself.
Yep.
Who was basically the world's
standard stuff.
Times 1,000. Not like she was some rookie before that, though. Her cop dad had her study a bunch of martial arts,
right?
Like judo and karate.
We can see all the martial arts there.
Custom bat suit.
Though she's definitely not up to Batman's level.
To the brim with advanced technology. It's basically a slimmed-down combination of military-grade armor and spy gear that
she's got a lot of tech.
Would be jealous of. Heck, Batman's version helped him survive this humongous explosion.
Oh wow!
The size of that thing. She also
that is a big explosion. Jeez. Except that was Batman, but still, wow.
Concussion bombs, smoke bombs, and foam bombs that can bind people in place. What's with all the bombs? And of course,
pretty comparable to the webs actually for Spider-Gwen.
Here I come. I'm just dying to help. Everyone knows
dying.
Basic shuriken the bats
really wide shot here.
But Miss carries an electric variant.
Oh no. No, no.
Well, that was.
Yeah, that's very nice of you. That you never appreciate me. You know what?
Oh no, Tommy.
If there was an award for being nice, you wouldn't win it. You three hear me?
Okay, thank you, dummy. We get it. Grenade version, yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Batgirl's also got
Ran a little too long for my liking, but okay.
She's got a gun that shoots sleeping gas, a gun that shoots a grappling hook,
Hmm.
and a gun that shoots batarangs. Because why would you throw something when you can fire it out of a gun?
Yeah.
She's quick enough to dodge bullet fire and avoid electricity from live wire.
Who's basically
Damn.
just a scarier version of Blue Jamie Foxx from that one movie about spiders. Also, Batman
I did Electro versus Livewire on my own channel.
Or have a friggin' building explode while she's inside. Damn, girl, you're unstoppable.
She can take some
Well, until she was
punishment.
shot and
Damn.
paralyzed from the waist down. But even with
Well,
the loss of her legs, she rallied around
yeah.
her peers and kept fighting the good
But she's
fight
super
as horrible.
smart.
Remember those computer skills? Well, they sure came in handy here, along with her photographic memory. Plus, she could dodge bullets while in a freaking wheelchair. Man, I bet she
Somehow,
could
yeah.
ball.
Certainly setting her apart from the likes of Batman and Robin. She even learned stick fighting while still paralyzed.
She
Wow.
can beat your ass even while sitting on hers. What can't she do in that wheelchair?
Definitely more productive than I am.
Walk.
Not for too long, though. She eventually received neural implants in her brain and spine that let her walk again.
Right.
Unfortunately, these devices are vulnerable to short-circuiting and AI hacking, but they're an acceptable risk and have been improved over time to resist such incursions.
Okay.
Which just makes her that much harder to beat. I mean, she's strong enough to outmuscle a giant mutant shark and suplex a fully grown tiger. Move over, Joe.
That is
Exotic.
impressive.
Make way for the tiger
But I see no
queen.
reason why Spider-Gwen couldn't do
Mother
that
and her experience
herself.
With the Bat family, Barbara Gordon's become a well-rounded protector of her city.
Crazy to think how far the
She does have some
wannabe
things I didn't know about before, like the whole sleeping gas thing
shadow and become her own hero.
and the adhesive stuff.
Goddamn Batgirl.
Overstepping yourself a little? Try me.
Ultimately, though, I'm still leaning more towards Spider-Gwen, even without
Everyone's
hearing any of
favorite
this.
Superhero Peter Parker dated a girl named Gwendolyn Stacy.
Right.
But then she fell off a bridge and died. The end.
Except that isn't the end. The universe is full of.
Oh wow, that was quick. I thought they were going to talk more about the main timeline, Gwen.
Never happened. What if Peter never found that radioactive spider that made him Spider-Man in the first place? What if
Instead, he was the lizard.
Was Gwen?
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth 65. This
A hot
is
mess.
Teen kicking back in New York City. She's a drummer for her high school band and the daughter of a police chief.
And she's this world's one and only Spider-Woman.
Though you might know her as Spider.
Yeah, I'm gonna refer to her as Spider-Gwen.
She got busy fighting crime.
Well, also
Hey,
Ghost
who can
Spider,
blame her
right?
for showing off a bit? She does whatever
Oh,
a
she doesn't
spider
like
can.
Eminem?
Though her police
Oh,
father didn't
that
approve,
sucks.
Insisting Spider-Woman could use her powers for the good of others. However, her close friend, the non-superpowered Peter of this world, had a different take.
He was getting bullied all the time and idolized Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, he wasn't heroic in the same way as mainstream
The only way
Peter.
to stop the bullies was to get powers like hers. Except he accidentally turned himself into a giant monster lizard.
Yep.
Okay.
Whom the young Miss Stacy was forced to subdue. Peter ultimately succumbed to his experiments, dying in her arms.
Yeah, that's
His
really
death turned
dark.
Spider-Woman into a fugitive on the run, but also
It's a nice
inspired her
parallel,
to
though,
take
to main
her father's
series, like
advice.
It was
how
time to
Spider-Man,
step
quote-unquote,
up as a
killed Gwen
superhero. With her
with his webs.
powers, she can crawl on walls and stick to any surface. Imagine, you're sitting on your couch being all that is man. You look up at your
Yes, of
ceiling,
course.
And instead of seeing a normal spider, there's a whole ass woman up there.
I saw a spider on my ceiling actually the other day,
Spider-Woman also
believe it
has
or
the
not.
Classic spider sense, which constantly scans her surroundings and alerts her to incoming danger.
Yes.
How many times have we said the word spider so far? We get to 50, do we get a free taco?
Thanks to her
Why a
spider
taco?
sense, Gwen's moved fast enough to dodge bullets, lasers, and lightning from Electro.
On his best day,
And lightning from Electro.
Spider-Man's even dodged beams of light, at least for a bit before he got smacked.
She's tough
Right.
enough to power through point-blank explosions just as well as electrocution. And yes, she has similar powers as other spider people like main universe Peter, who survived a massive explosion that annihilated the top of this skyscraper.
Yep.
And she's strong enough to punch
And even
right
more
over a
impressive than
wall.
that,
That's
too.
the guy, not another animal. And lift over 10 tons.
But of course, to truly fit the role of Spider-Woman, she needed one last thing. Thanks to Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, Gwen received her very own web shooters.
Why do
Yes.
these people keep using sticky stuff that just gets everywhere? Kinda gross.
The web fluid isn't just sticky, but incredibly strong.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, hang on, give me a sec.
gets everywhere. Kinda
Alright, sorry about
gross.
that. We're gonna go
The
from
web
here.
fluid isn't just sticky, but incredibly strong.
Hey!
The tensile strength of regular spider silk can reportedly reach up to 178 kilograms per square millimeter
Yeah,
cross-section.
really strong stuff.
Human-sized web, it would be nearly as strong as steel.
Oh, come on, Wiz. This is a new shirt.
What? Can't be. It already has beer stains all over it.
How is that a new shirt? You wear the same thing every day.
Like all those girls that just cut a bunch of holes in their jeans and ruin them.
Even with those similar powers, Gwen's not your average spider hero. She's made a habit of traveling throughout the multiverse.
And
Yeah.
she lost her powers permanently. They were stolen by Cindy Moon, because she's the worst. Gwen could briefly restore her powers with these isotope things.
Silk's
but she
cool.
didn't really have a good solution. Until she found Venom. No, really, Venom. You know, the scary alien sludge monster guy that eats brains.
Despite it being, well, Venom, Gwen took the symbiote for herself.
Right.
Formed into her new suit, her powers were fully restored.
Oh yes, she's back in black.
I should note this version of Venom is a bit different from the one you're most familiar with.
Yeah.
It was lab created and not nearly as potent or powerful.
It can form talons, camouflage her, and do some limited shape-shifting. But Gwenum won't be reforming from a puddle of goo or anything crazy like that. Also,
Right.
she can create even more spiders? Who the hell came up with that? I guess the only problem
Well, shape-shifting can do that, sure, yeah.
Fire. It's basically scared of a metal concert.
Ironic, considering its preferred look. But it's
Yeah.
still Venom, and its violent nature tore Gwen apart. Eventually, she wound up unmasked and indicted.
What do you mean unmasked? Her name's SpiderGwen. Everyone should have
She doesn't go by Spider-Gwen, though. That's not her superhero name.
Badass spider chick kicked lots of ass.
After serving her time and even gaining control of the symbiote, shifting it into her more iconic getup,
Yeah.
took a trip to the mainline 616 Earth.
Basically, she got about as popular as Spider-Man, and they wanted to jam her in the universe.
There,
Yeah.
she regained her secret identity. But since there were a few other Spider-Women running around, she took on a new moniker, Ghost Spider.
Ghost
Yeah.
Spider! That's right. This chick's too good to protect one world. She's got two. It's awesome to see how far she's come from teenage show-off to guardian of the multiverse.
That's why I work alone.
All the spider people say they work alone, yet there's so many of them now.
The buttons are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Okay, I feel like I don't need to pause it, but I will, and talk about this fight. Yeah, I think Spider-Gwen's gonna win. There's nothing they said that really would change my mind about that. There were some specific things in Barbara's arsenal that I didn't know about before that were just slipped my mind. But even then, I see no reason why those things that Barbara would use would be traveling faster than lightning or the speed of light or anything like that. I don't see why Spider-Gwen couldn't dodge those things. And I just feel like we know that even if, you know, Barbara can reliably dodge lightning for a long time, like we know that for spider characters, it's even easier for them to dodge lightning, and they can dodge light for a short time. The spider sense on its own, honestly, just gives the reaction edge to Gwen. And like, yeah, they talked about, you know, lifting 10 tons, which I do think Gwen can lift more than that, but I understand, you know, she's less experienced. That was about the average that Spider-Man could lift when he was just starting out. So I understand that. You know, I do think she could lift more, but I get what they were going for. But yeah, in terms of like, they could both survive explosions, but again, like Gwen just seems to be able to survive bigger explosions, and she's the only one that hits as hard as an explosion. Like if we scale her to Spider-Man, like Death Battles even said, you know, Spider-Man can exert, you know, 2 kilotons of TNT in order to be able to break Doc Ock's arms. And even if you want to argue even if you want to argue he can go even further than that, you know, even if it was just at that level, you know, at 2 kilotons, you know, Spider-Gwen still is just stronger and should be able to outmatch Barbara. You know, there was that whole explosion that Batman survived, but I don't know if they're going to debunk that later, but either way, I'm not sure if that would be enough. First of all, they didn't calculate how big the explosion was. Maybe it didn't even equal to something like 2 kilotons of TNT or anything like that. But then it's also that it's Batman's suit. I don't know if there were any special circumstances. It seems weird that even he would survive something like that. Maybe that is legit, but I don't know if Barbara could scale to that reasonably, you know? So, you know, I don't know. Like, if they were to say Barbara would win, I'd be very surprised. It would have to be some sort of combination of her specific gadgets and surviving like scaling to Batman surviving the explosion. That would have to be it. But like, as of right now, I'm still very confident that Gwen's gonna win. So yeah, I guess there's no point to keep talking. Let's just keep going. It'd be very embarrassing if I am wrong, but I don't think I am. I am excited for a cool fight, though. They're playing She-Ra versus Wonder Woman. Was she leaving a comment? That's actually kind of funny. So, okay, dimensional travel. That actually makes sense. So they're fighting in the DC world. That's pretty cool.
I said take me to Miles, not this.
1610. Except now she's traveled to a completely different multiverse. And there's a natural progression of the story. They don't know each other.
Seems like you're the stupid one for dropping by unannounced.
Yeah, to her, she's a trespasser. That makes sense. Okay, not bad. Well, okay, very fast. Very. And there's the giant penny.
Point taken, Dracula. I'll get out of your hair. See ya.
Of course she could dodge that. She was just standing there for a while. These Screama sticks? Makes sense. Seems like she has access to a lot of stuff, though, just by being here. Okay, nice variety of shots. I definitely appreciate that. Nice. They just got stuck in the ceiling. Ow, oh, ow, ow. That would still hurt, even if she could take it. Explosions, but that's nothing. That's nothing for spider people.
End of the road, loser.
Yeah, Batgirl's definitely the smarter fighter. But I just don't think it's enough.
I'll find you. You're on my turf.
Ooh.
Too late.
Okay. So she actually broke out of the webbing. Impressive. Just throw it away. Okay, you're fine. Now just falling rocks. This is pretty crazy. Ow! Damn, that would hurt. Ooh! Nice with the black borders. Ow! Yeah, geez, that would hurt.
Come on.
Come on, you dodge stuff like that all your life. It's like Spider-Man 1. Look at the Green Goblin. Oh!
You haven't won yet.
Is that right? Just throwing a mallet now? Yeah, she's just dodging all of it. Because why couldn't she? Oh! Oh! What that face? Oh, jeez.
Now I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like Batgirl.
Nice kill shot, though. That was pretty cool.
Batgirl wielded an impressive arsenal with plenty of tools suited to combat Gwen's abilities. Not to mention, Gwen was no match for her stellar intelligence.
Right.
Which made this pretty close. There are plenty of versions of this fight where Batgirl could take down the symbiote with sound and fire.
But even with
I
such
guess.
weaknesses, the Ghost Spider held enough of her own advantages to take the win more times than not.
So, while Batgirl's training was certainly better, the spider sense is just super broken.
Yeah.
Gwen and other Spideys have held up against martial arts masters like Captain America, who is definitely on par with super ninjas like Batman.
Not to mention, Gwen was clearly stronger than Barbara. Plus, Spider-Man survived that skyscraper bomb with the same powers, which Batgirl definitely wouldn't walk away from.
No.
It was way bigger than the building blast that Batgirl barely survived.
Exactly.
Hell, Batman's biggest explosion survival feat doesn't even match it. Listen, I know explosions, and by measuring the size of this blast, I can tell it's equal to about 60 tons of TNT.
Oh, wow, that's not even that much.
Stuff to Spider-Man's, it's more than double that.
Right.
To be frank, Batgirl had the tools she needed to take down Spider-Woman. Gwen was simply stronger, faster, tougher, and made good use of the spider sense, making it extremely difficult for Barbara to land a decisive hit before taking one herself.
That's pretty much what it came down to, yeah.
Batgirl was overwhelmed by Spider-Gwen spinning this one in her favor. Jesus webbed.
The winner is Spider-Gwen.
Well, I think we all saw that coming. I'll talk a bit about it afterwards, but I'm excited to see what the next time is.
Check the link in the description.
I'll get rid of this. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay. They're finally doing it. So Sanji, if I can, oh crap. Okay, we're now back to this wall of death battle. But yeah, so that was Sanji versus Rock Lee. Sanji from One Piece and Rock Lee from Naruto. I was thinking this one was gonna happen soon, because this is the final one of that leak that hadn't happened yet. Like, there was Saberwolf versus John Talbane there, you know, the 7 Battle Royale, and there was more on the leak as well. But yeah, I was waiting for this one to happen. I was sure it was going to happen at some point. And now it is actually happening. Sanji versus Rock Lee. Okay, I'm definitely rooting for Rock Lee. In general, I just like Naruto more than One Piece. But no, that'll definitely be interesting. That'll definitely be interesting. I look forward to giving my thoughts on that, because I definitely have some stuff to say about it. But yeah, so I'm sure, you know, the next one's not going to be 3D or anything. It would be really cool to see Sanji and Rock Lee in 3D. But no, I'm pretty sure the season finale will probably be 3D, and this one is probably going to be 2D. Especially since we've already had 2 3D fights in a row, right? With Red versus Blue. I know that technically that was supposed to come before Saberwolf versus John, but anyway, not really important. Anyway, I'm excited for the next one, relatively excited. Definitely more excited than I was for this one, even though I know both Batgirl and Spider-Gwen better than either Rock Lee or Sanji. But anyway, talking about this one, so overall, you know, I did enjoy it. But, you know, I still don't really think it was worth the time that they put into it. You know, if you're gonna give a 3D fight, I was cool to see a Spider-Man character and a Batman character finally be put into 3D, but, you know, you didn't have to do it this way, I feel. You didn't have to do it, you know, with such an obvious fight with Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. And I know that they were trying to say, oh yeah, you know, there are definitely ways that Batgirl could win. And, like, yes, there are ways she could have won by exploiting, you know, the weaknesses of the symbiote, but, like, come on, you know, the abilities that Gwen has are so far beyond Batgirl that even if there are ways for Batgirl to win, there really is no chance she could, you know, exploit the weaknesses. There is no chance that she could actually capitalize on any of that. So much to the point where I would even say, you know, that even with those weakness exploitations, there's really no way Batgirl could have won. It's what I was saying in Venom versus Krona. It's like, in order for a character to beat a symbiote or something where you really need to exploit a weakness, they need to be able to keep up with them physically, and they need to be able to exploit the weakness through their arsenal. If they can't do both of those things, then that character cannot beat the character that can really only die to specific weaknesses. And that's exactly what it is here. You know, Spider-Gwen, sure, she was weak to fire and sound or whatever, but Batgirl had no chance of being able to keep up with her physically. So, you know, yeah, it's just, I don't know. To me, like, I know what they were going for. It didn't really sit well with me that they were just like, oh yeah, it was pretty close, because no, it wasn't. To me, anyway, it just was not close. And in terms of the animation, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was very good. Like, in terms of just comparing it, like, to an average death battle animation, it was good. It was 3D. There were a lot of cool shots in it. They brought out a lot of different abilities that these characters had, more than I thought they would. I know they could have gone further, but still, I was still impressed with how much versatility they were able to show for each character in the actual animation. That was really cool. Although, out of the 3 that these animators have made, like between Ganon and Dracula, or Ganon versus Dracula and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi, I think this one is probably my least favorite. I don't really know why. I think there were some shots that kind of looked a little weird to me. Like, they still were able to be creative. Like, there was a whole, like, black border at points when they were moving around, which I thought was pretty cool. So obviously, and again, animation takes a ridiculously long time to make. So, you know, kudos to the animators, because they're still doing a great job. It's just, personally, I think that the other fights that these animators animated were a little better. That's just me personally. In general, I think I did enjoy this one more than I thought I would. You know, it was still informative. Of course, you know, with every death battle, they teach me new things. So I'm happy that I got to learn more about Batgirl's arsenal, and I'm happy I got to learn more about exactly how Spider-Gwen's powers work. You know, I'm really happy I got to learn those things. But in general, I still think that, you know, if you're going to allocate a certain amount of 3D fights to a season, you know, just don't give it to an obvious match. And if you're going to just allocate a certain number of matches to your season, which of course you're going to do, just don't do an obvious match. That's typically just how I see it. You know, if they hadn't done Batman versus Spider-Man before, then I wouldn't honestly have too huge of a problem with this one, because, you know, I would still probably think Spider-Gwen would win, but, you know, at least then it's not like, oh yeah, you can just look back at another fight and see what happens. If Batgirl won, it would be contradicting Batman versus Spider-Man. That's honestly really how it feels to me. But yeah, the analyses, again, they were still funny, they were still informative. You know, it's still like death battle quality. It's just the fight idea itself really hinders it for me. That's just it. For me, in order for like an overall death battle episode to be good, the actual production value needs to be up there, but the idea itself needs to be good on its own. Like, if I were to say, you know, like, oh, you know, the death battle episode wasn't great, but what really saved it for me was the production value, for me, that's not good enough. It needs to be a good idea that even without the animation, without the jokes and everything like that, that it would still be an interesting idea to talk about. For me, that's what I look for in my death battles, or at least that's part of what I look for. And for me, this one just didn't have it for me. It didn't really, you know, make me think, oh yeah, you know, that's such a cool fight after this, you know. I still know it as the landslide victory that I feel it to be. You know, again, I know that Batgirl is really impressive in many different ways. She's still intelligent. She has a lot of gadgets, but there's just no way that she could actually use those to her advantage in the fight. In general, though, I still enjoyed this episode, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. There's going to be a link in the description of the original video, so make sure you go check that out, because, of course, this is just a reaction video. And leave your comments down in the comments below what you thought of the video, who do you think should have won, everything like that. If you could give this video a like, I would really appreciate that. If you could subscribe, I would appreciate that even more. But no matter what you guys do, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And next time is Sanji versus Rock Lee, and I'm definitely more excited for that one than I was for this one. So yeah, really happy about that. But yep, that's it. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.